open up. First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming out. But really, our thoughts and prayers are definitely again this week with our Gulf Coast friends and family, and families down there, and players, our families of our players. As they continue to clean up, we don't want to forget them. As I know some of the media may not be nearly as covering as quite extensive they were a week ago, but also we lost a young man that had been part of our family since July, committed to us, and Leonard Parks from Texas High, and that young man tragically lost his life Saturday, and just really tragic with talking to Coach Stanford and what they've obviously done in that program, and in his short period of time, and Leonard being the young man that he was. What a phenomenal young man. We had him at camp, and it's just tragic. So we'll continue to pray for their family. It's been a pretty tough week on everybody. But just recapping from last week, obviously a great way to open up the season. Anytime you can open up and get a win out of it, play a lot of guys. There's a lot of mistakes that were made, but yet we've got a lot of improvement to go, and thank goodness we made mistakes. And that's the one thing that I'm really excited about, is the mistakes that we made are all correctable, and that's a big plus. So, from an offensive standpoint, we knew we were going to play the quarterback, so we played. Ben Hicks started for us. We'll start again this week for us. But we felt like all three of those guys has the potential to lead this team to victory. And you saw that with DJ and with Rafe. I thought they did some really good things. I thought you saw some of the fact that neither Rafe nor DJ had played ball in a game situation in a year. And so that was unique to see. See those guys get in there and compete. I thought our offensive line played well. Our left side of the line in particular played extremely well. We knew that. There's a lot of experience over there. Our right side of the line they need a game experience. They need to continue to work together. And then finding that rotation right there is going to be key for us. But they did some really good things. Thought the way we opened up the game, our special teams has been a big focus for us coming into this year, and I thought we showed a lot of improvements in just one game. We've got a long way to go. We had some breakdowns on some coverage units late in the game, but that's to be expected when you're playing a lot of guys. But overall, open up the game with a kickoff that held them inside the 25-yard line. Defense comes out and goes 3 plays, 2 yards. They punt to us. Get the punt. We filled the punt cleanly, even though we did get a penalty off of that punt. It was just kind of what we coached the kid to do, and it was just could have taken a little bit better angle, but they got him for blocking the back. But his technique was what we were looking for as far as using his brush technique. So we'll continue to work his angles on that, but we were able to go 12 plays, 70-something yards, score a touchdown, convert 2 third downs on that drive. Had 0 tackles for loss, negative yards plays on the drive. So again, great way to start the season out. I thought defensively, and back on offense, Trey Quinn was our offensive player of the game. I thought he showed a resilience of a young man that was ready to play, as they all were, but you could definitely tell this guy has been waiting a long time for this moment, and did some really good things, led us in receptions, and obviously his big touchdown, stiff arm touchdown, was just shows you the passion and excitement this young man brings to our football team. I've been saying this for over a year since he's been here, and he's going to be a dynamic player for us in years to come. Defensively, obviously, our player of the game was Jordan Wyatt. He picked up where he left off a year ago. He'll be the first one to tell you, though, that a great coverage unit on the back end is attributed to a defensive pass rush, and I think you saw that. Played a lot of guys in our D line. There was pressure all night long. I thought we played well early at linebacker. We kind of didn't finish like I really wanted us to, but there was a lot of productivity right there with Jordan Williams and Anthony Roan and Kyron Mitchell. I thought our safeties did some good things. We're young there, but they showed a lot of really good things. Mikael Onu led us in tackles, and you saw flashes of him. But when you're playing four safeties like we played, and all those guys are young guys, you're going to see some mistakes. So we saw some of those. We got to continue to improve on that. I mentioned special teams. I thought we punted the ball well. And Jamie punted for almost 43-yard average. And overall, I thought our coverage unit was better. We still got to get better in our return unit on kickoff return, even though we did have one long return there. But pin them inside the 25 on the kickoff. We also were really close on a punt return, a couple punt returns there. So we'll see. This team will continue to get better. I've said it before, and I said it to our team that we're not as good as we're going to be, but we're better than we've ever been since I've been here, and that holds true. We can continue to say that every day. The outlook for this football team in this season is extremely bright. So I'm excited where we are. I know we got a big opponent coming this week. They're ready for this. This is you can definitely tell Coach Luttrell is in his second year. These guys are prepared. They played much more confident than they have. You would expect that in the second year. You know, Coach led them to a bowl game last year. These guys are very well coached, and they looked impressive last Saturday as we watched film on them. But you know, this will be an important week for both these universities as they come in. I know this is we're expecting a good crowd, and so we're excited about this challenge. It will definitely be a challenge where they've got some really good players coming back off last year's team. In particular, their quarterback Mason Fine, and this young man is wow, I think he's the all-time leading passer in the state of Oklahoma. They put up over 668 yards of offense last week. They got a running back, Jeffrey Wilson and Nick Smith, which both rushed for over 100 yards last week. Very dynamic. Both those guys are dynamic. They make it go. Obviously, Graham Harrell's our offensive coordinator, and I consider him and one of the great young minds in all of college football. So we've got our work cut out for us. Wide receivers, you know, they've got some guys that are returning, and just really impressive to see their wide receivers and what they bring to the table. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
So what specific challenges does Fine present from a game planning perspective?
Well, he's extremely accurate. That's one. He moves well. While he may not be a true runner in their system, I mean, he runs well enough to put some strain on you. But he's extremely accurate. He anticipates really well. I mean, you wouldn't think when you watch this guy on video, you wouldn't think that he's a sophomore. You know, he came in last year and played against us right there toward the third, fourth quarter, and did some really good things. Led him down the field, and so I think he picked up and you know, obviously their season was I think they went 5-8 a year ago, but led them to a bowl game. And so this guy looks more comfortable and more confident, and that's kind of what you expect in a second-year player. Threw for 3 touchdowns last week, and so you know, he's really patient with the ball. But also their scheme does some really good things for him as well, because he gets the ball out. He knows where he's going with the ball, and he's got great anticipation for it.
So this is the second year in a row that Nick Gordon has worn number 23 for this program. It's obviously a very special number. What is it about Nick that you think makes him deserving of that honor?
Well, that's an honor that we decide on as a coaching staff that represents Jerry Levice and what he's done for not just our university, but for college football in particular in the South. You know, it is a distinguished award that we try to honor every year. A guy that represents, you know, integrity, a guy that represents just a work ethic. And you know, Nick won it last year and got hurt. And it's ironic because he suffered the same injury that Jerry did when he was here. And so we thought, you know, with Nick coming back, it was really, you know, it was really important for us that he continues to carry that legacy. And so the way he worked to get himself back to this point was really big. And I know it was a big award for him.
So this game for UNT means a lot. It's a big rivalry game for them. How do you prepare your players to make sure they're ready to match the intensity that the other side's going to bring?
Well, it means a lot for everybody. I mean, it means a lot for us too. And you know, these guys, we understand the magnitude of this game. I mean, this is an opportunity for our program to get better, regardless who we're playing. But we also know that, you know, for both these universities, this has been a game that you can look at over the last 3 or 4 years has meant a lot. It meant a lot for both of these universities. So, you know, again, at this stage in the season, all you worry about is getting better. That's what your season's not going to be defined by just one game. We just need to focus on continuing to get better. Our guys understand what's ahead. They see that, hey, look, we got many games after this, but this is the biggest game because it's the only game, and that's our approach. And so we've got to worry about getting better every day, one day at a time. We do that, then all the other stuff will take care of itself. But these guys are going to come in and they're going to present a great challenge for us, and we got to be ready.
Where do you want to see the most improvement from last week to this week?
Well, and I shared this with our staff this morning. You know, I want to see guys make new mistakes. Well, you're not going to play a perfect game. You're going to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. That's part of what. If there was no mistakes to be made, why is our coaches out on the field? So, you know, it's our job to be able to recognize mistakes, fix mistakes, and make sure they don't keep reoccurring the same mistakes. So, you know, if we come back in here on Sunday, regardless of the outcome, I'm worried about, I want to focus on, did we get better? Did we improve on the mistakes that we made on last week? If we can come in and say, hey, look, we corrected those mistakes, didn't have the same mistakes, we had new mistakes, and this program is growing. And we want to be golden in the month of November. That's kind of where we want to be. And to do that, you got to correct the mistakes and not have reoccurring. If you come back in here Sunday and you got the same mistakes made by the same guys, then you got to reevaluate. Are we doing too much? Are we putting too much on the players? Are we not recognizing mistakes as a coaching staff? And do we not know how to fix the mistakes? And so that's kind of where my job as a head football coach is, to make sure that we know we're going to make mistakes and know things are going to happen. Let's just make sure that we're making new ones.
Can you give us an update on Kevin Johnson's status?
Yeah, Kevin came in, we did the MRI and everything, and he should be back. We anticipate him being back. He actually ran this morning on our treadmill and looked good. So we expect him to be back with his knee. That's where we're at.
Will this game have do you see it as having an impact on your recruiting with being North Texas and actually the next 2 games?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, we were all recruit for this, you know, everybody's after the same guys. And, you know, we recruit against North Texas. They recruit against us in some areas and some of the schools. But sure, without a doubt, you know, part of our vision is 1, to win the opener, and 2, to win the Metroplex. And part of winning the Metroplex is to be able to defeat the 2 teams we're going to be playing. And so we take them one day at a time and one step at a time. And so, yeah, I think any time you go against someone that recruits in the same area you recruit in, it has some impact.
This is your 3rd year at SMU. I know you had a lot of head coaching experience before you got here, but
It's actually 1,008 days. Yeah, who's counting?
You're counting.
Yeah, 1,008.
it's a lot. How would you say your either coaching style or philosophy has evolved over those 3 years?
Well, every day's a process. Every day, you can't focus on tomorrow. You got to worry about today. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned in my time here as a head coach is you got to focus on the moment. You got to be where your feet are and be present, not perfect, is what we say. And being present, it means you got to live in the moment. You got to get better every day. We've established our culture. Our players understand what our culture is. It's a belief in what we do. When I came in here 1,008 days ago, we established exactly what we want our belief to be. We weren't there yet, and we haven't arrived by no means, and that's every day. Every day I get out of my car, I've got to protect this culture. I've got to protect our what we're about, and so as a head coach, that has become a big part of who I am. Making sure that from an inside out and outside in standpoint, that we know how to win. We've won our whole life, and we know what the blueprint for success looks like. Matter of fact, they won a national championship, and so not too many people around our core values understand that, and it's my job to educate, my job to protect, and I've said it before. I'm a go guy, and you'll never have to tell me to go. I'm in the left lane all the time, and I know what it looks like, and I don't take no for an answer. I just don't. They hired me to win football games and build a program, and so as a head football coach, that's what I've learned more than anything. Yes, it's about X's and O's, but you hire great coaches, and you put those guys in positions to let them coach. While I 100% focus on who we are and what our brand is and our culture of our program, and we're not going to deviate for nothing. And it doesn't mean I'm not involved in the game planning, because I am. But Coach Craddock and I have worked together for many years, and he understands the way I think, and I understand the way he thinks. But I'm not. I'm 100% completely devoted, obsessed. I'd say that's my word for the year, is obsessed with our culture of our program. And again, I know what it's supposed to look like. We're not there yet. We're a long way from being there. And there's a lot of things that we got to be able to control what we can control. And so this has been definitely a challenge building their program. But it's been good, because you get to see these players and watch the progress that they've made over the last 1,008 days.
So the team account just tweeted out a picture of supplies that Ramon Flanagan has taken down to Port Arthur. How is that drive organized, and is there a specific group of people that it's going to benefit?
Yeah, we do a lot of different things here. Part of our culture is to be a servant leader, and to do that, you got to help others. That's the part of our family. It's part of the integrity of our program. And our players, I met with our leadership committee last week. We had shared with them that we're doing some things Paul and I are, with SMU football as a focal point to help our families down in the Gulf Coast area. I know Paula has got some things going with the wives, helping out as well. But the players want to do something. They want to be a part. And the thing I want you to understand, this isn't just a one-time, we're going to do one time, do one thing, and we're just going to go on about our business. This is going to be something that we're going to continue to stress all year long. This isn't going away. And so our leadership committee met with me on Thursday, and they decided that in addition to what we're doing on the side note with our program with Paula and I, they wanted to put in more true hard facts, hard material stuff, water, diapers, formula, soap, where the other part would come from a monetary standpoint. And so they organized it. We did it by positions, and obviously Coach Flanagan is coached down in the Beaumont area and had been down there, and he still has some stuff down there that he's going to in friends, and so he's going down to check on things. And tomorrow, and we've loaded up a U-Haul from our players, strictly 100% from our players, that consists of water and diapers and formula, and it's going straight into the Beaumont Port Arthur area to help those out, those families involved. So yes, and then there'll be more things that we're going to continue to do as a team as the year progresses.
Who are the members of the leadership committee?
We've got, there's 6 of them. There's Cortland Sutton, Evan Brown, Anthony Roan, Justin Lawler, Jordan White, and Demrick Gary.